Hi guys, this is Mrs. Cornett, and I am going to make another video for section 9.1. This is the section called Roots and Radicals. In this video, I'm going to explain the difference between an irrational number and a rational number. Before I explain the difference, I want you to look at this picture and really start to form a concept of what a perfect square number is and what a perfect cube number is. And if you look at this image, it all goes back to geometry. Perfect square numbers are numbers that can form a square. So remember from geometry, squares have all equal sides. And so only numbers like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and so on could be the area of a square that has whole numbers for the sides. Because to have an area of a 4, you multiply 2 times 2. To have area of a 9, you multiply 3 times 3. A similar concept is true for perfect cubed numbers, but instead of the flat area of a square, cubes are three-dimensional, and so we're talking about the volume of the cube. There's only certain numbers that can be a volume of a cube that has a whole number as the length of one edge. And those numbers are 1, 8, 27, 64, 125, and so on. It's really important that you memorize the first 15 perfect square numbers and the first 5 perfect cube numbers. It will be a lot easier if you can have those memorized when you're working out problems throughout this section and the rest of the chapter. Okay, take a look at these problems. It says classify the numbers as rational or irrational. And then I have a note at the bottom of the screen. And there's one difference of how you can recognize rational and irrational. Take a look at the bottom of the screen. A rational number is the square root of a perfect square number. Irrational is the square root of a non-perfect square number. And so this is why I really want you to at least have the first 15 memorized so that you can take a list of numbers like this and quickly go through and determine if the number is rational or irrational. Take a look at 41, the square root of 15. 15 is not a perfect square number, so this is irrational. I'm just going to put an I. Okay, down to 43, the negative square root of 49. 49 is a perfect square number. It's okay that there's a negative on the outside, so this is rational. The negative square root of 24. 24 is not perfect square, so this is irrational. The square root of 400. 20 times 20 is 400, so this is rational. 49 is a fraction. This is the square root of 36 over 25. And anytime you see the square root over a fraction, it's the same as if there was a square root symbol in the numerator and a square root symbol in the denominator. Both 36 and 25 are perfect square numbers, and so this entire fraction, and so the square root of this fraction is also rational. 51 is the square root of 0.18. The easiest thing to do here for 51 and 52, 53, 54 is to move the decimal to make it a whole number, and then you can better see if it's a rational or irrational. The square root of 0.18 or even the square root of 18, that's not a perfect square number, so this is irrational. 53, 1.21, if you move the decimal to make it a whole number of 121, that is a perfect square number, 11 times 11, so this is rational. 42, square root of 25 is rational. 44, the negative square root of 13, that's irrational. 46, the square root of 42, that is also irrational. 48 is the negative square root of 900, which is 30 times 30, so that is rational. 50, we have the fraction 4/9. 4 and 9 are both perfect square numbers, and so this is a rational number. 52 is the negative square root of 0.64. Again, with these decimals, move the decimal over until you have a whole number. 64 is a perfect square number, and so this is rational. And 54 is the square root of 2.36. Move that decimal. Is 236 a perfect square number? No, it's not, and so that is also irrational. Okay, I hope this makes sense. I hope that these examples will help you as you work through your homework. If you do have any questions, please let me know.